Today's program is brought to you by OTCStockShark.com. For the latest and greatest OTC and Pink Sheets information, sign up for your account at OTCStockShark.com. Thank you for tuning in to TBC Today. I'm Brandon Vincent.
And I'm Angelina Soriano.
In today's financial news, stocks par declines but remained in the red as traders focused on changes to Wall Street regulations taking shape in Washington. Although traders have generally been concerned that big firms' ability to reap big profits will be affected, they drew a sigh of relief following reports that Senate Banking Committee Chairman Christopher Dodd has dropped his proposal to restrict derivative trading in particular. This move paved the way for a rebound in financial stocks, which in turn helped to par the daily losses in big-name market indexes. The Dow Jones Industrial Average, which was off 186 points as its session low, was recently off 56 points or 0.5%, bolstered by gains in all of its financial components. Bank of America rose 2.1%, American Express and JP Morgan Chase were up more than 1% each. The NASDAQ Composite Index slipped 0.5% and the S&P was off 0.3%, hurt by declines in every sector except financials, which were up 0.3% after trading in the red earlier in the session. A spokeswoman for Senator Dodd said he wouldn't bring up an amendment meant to hinder another controversial part of the pending financial overhaul bill, which would have forced banks to spin off their derivatives operations.
In U.S. news, the Episcopal Diocese of Los Angeles ordained an openly lesbian bishop, a move likely to stoke further tensions between liberals and conservatives in the deeply divided global Anglican communion. Mary Douglas Glasspool is now a suffragan or assistant bishop in a liberal diocese on America's famous West Coast, and she offered to meet with her critics as a reconciling person. The event is news for the 77 million Anglicans around the world and the seriously split Anglican Communion, the group of Anglican national churches in which the Episcopal Church is the U.S. member. The communion was rocked by the Episcopal Church's conservation of its first openly gay bishop, Gene Robinson, in 2003. It urged the U.S. Church not to appoint another homosexual bishop because of the stiff opposition to change from conservative Anglicans, mostly in Africa. The conservative African churches will protest strongly and redouble their efforts to defend traditional policies against homosexual clergy. Traditionalists in the Church of England who oppose plans to permit women bishops there will probably see it as another reason to leave for the Roman Catholic Church. Polls consistently show gay and lesbians enjoying growing acceptance in American society, but fast-growing faiths in the United States, such as many evangelical Protestant churches and the Mormon Church, regard homosexual relations as sinful and prescribed by Scripture, and voters have opposed gay marriage, including in California. The Anglican Communion is the third largest Christian denomination in the world after the Roman Catholic Church and the Orthodox Church.
In today's international news, Amanda Knox, the University of Washington exchange student who is serving 26 years for murder in Italy, is about to go on trial for new charges that could extend her sentence. Knox and her former boyfriend, Raphael, were convicted in December of killing Knox's British roommate, Meredith Kircher, in 2007. Even though the prosecutor, Mr. McNeely, said successfully won the murder conviction, he is not satisfied. He's already appealing Knox's sentence, saying she got off too easy and deserves life in prison. On June 1st, Mr. McNeely will again be leading the charge against Knox in the same courtroom, this time on slander charges. Mr. McNeely says Mrs. Knox lied when she said that police had beat her during questioning at police headquarters the night of her arrest. Knox's defense team is crying foul because it was Mr. McNeely who oversaw the investigation and interrogation of Knox. They will ask for a new prosecutor. They are also challenging the judge who ruled against Knox in the pretrial hearings. They say that the judge is biased. If convicted of slander, Knox could face additional 6 years in prison and a hefty fine. There is also a buzz about a possible new witness surfacing in the case. He's a prisoner who claims to know Kircher's real killer and where the murder weapon was hidden. A similar claim was made recently by another convicted man.
In entertainment news, according to studio estimates, Robin Hood took the lead at the worldwide box office in its first weekend of release, but the costly Russell Crowe saga failed to replace Iron Man 2 as the top choice in North America. Universal Pictures said Crowe's fifth collaboration with director Ridley Scott earned $111 million from 57 markets, led by a relatively modest $37 million in the United States and Canada. Iron Man 2 retained its crown in North America after earning $53 million in its second weekend. The superhero sequel starring Robert Downey Jr. pulled in $84 million worldwide, taking its total to $457 million. The North American tally for Robin Hood fell below industry forecasts of an opening into a $45 million range. But Universal Distribution President Nikki Rocco said she had been forecasting a figure above $35 million. She said the studio was more focused on the global market than on a specific territory. She noted that the international component was $74 million, Robin Hood, which cost at least $155 million, made its world premiere at the opening selection at the Cannes Film Festival last Wednesday. The picture dispenses with much of the Robin Hood mythology, including his reputation as the man who stole from the rich and gave to the poor, and transforms the hero into a war veteran swept up in political intrigue.
Nothing is sexier than a strong, toned body. And nothing builds great bodies better than a genuine Bowflex home gym. Because only Bowflex home gyms have Power Rod technology, the secret to getting a strong, sculpted body fast.
I was absolutely seeing results almost immediately.
I love the results that I've seen.
It's probably the best home gym workout I've ever seen.
Call for a free DVD that shows how to get the results you want faster than you ever thought possible.
You can't diet your way to a body like this, but in just 20 minutes, 3 times a week, you can be a stronger, sexier you.
Have one delivered for $0 down and pay as little as $10 a month. Call now for a free DVD that shares the Power Rod secret of building a strong, fit body.
I think women with muscles are beautiful.
Those are Bowflex guns, that's right.
To get a Bowflex body, get a genuine Bowflex Power Rod home gym. Get started. Call now.
In today's tech news, the web received a shiny new gift, a truly open and royalty-free video codec for the HTML5 web pages. The new open media project is called WebM. As expected, the VP8 codec is at the center of WebM. Google acquired the video technology earlier this year, and developers have been itching with anticipation for Google to release VP8 as open source code. Last Wednesday, they got their wish. Google has already added support for the format to Chrome and on YouTube as part of the site's ongoing experiment in building an entirely HTML5-powered experience. WebM is a set of codecs for browsers to use and play video and audio content embedded on HTML5 web pages without the use of plugins. The project was launched with the backing of Mozilla, Opera, and Google. All 3 browsers have already begun building support for it.
In health news, a burger and fries are not only bad for the waistline, they might also trigger asthma. Patients with asthma who ate a high-fat meal had increased inflammation in their airways soon afterward and did not respond as well to treatment as those who ate a low-fat meal. The results provide more evidence that environmental factors such as diet can influence the development of asthma, which has increased dramatically in recent years in westernized countries where high-fat diets are common. In 2007, about 34 million Americans had asthma. From 1980 through 1994, the prevalence of asthma increased 75%. While the results are preliminary, they suggest cutting down on fat may be one way to help control asthma. The results will be presented at this year's American Thoracic Society's International Conference held May 14th through 19th in New Orleans. Asthma is a condition in which inflammation in the airways can lead to breathlessness, wheezing, and coughing. Symptoms can be triggered by a variety of irritants, including air pollution, smoke, and allergens such as pollen and animal dander. Previous studies have shown eating fatty foods can trigger the immune system, leading to an increase in cells in the blood that are responsible for inflammation, but no one had specifically looked at the effect of a fatty diet on asthma. Researchers had 40 asthmatic patients eat either a high-fat meal consisting of burgers and hash browns or a low-fat meal of yogurt. The high-fat meal was 1,000 calories and the low-fat meal was 200 calories. Analysis of sputum samples revealed that those who had eaten the burger meal had an increased number of immune cells called neutrophils in their airways. Neutrophils play a role in triggering inflammation. The high-fat diet patients also showed less improvement in their lung function in response to the asthma medication Ventolin 3 to 4 hours after the meal. The researchers aren't sure why the drug didn't work as well after the high-fat meal and plan further studies to test out an answer. It could be the fatty acids interfere with the drug in some way, the researchers say.
Thank you for tuning in to TBC Today. I'm Brandon Vincent.
And I'm Angelina Soriano.